Hello and a very warm welcome to Bharat Mobility Global Expo, the Component Show. Today we are joined by man of the moment, Mr. Vinnie Mehta, Director General ACMA, and who is the man behind to putting up this, the largest show ever happened in India. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Dipanshu. Thank you for having me. That's much more than I deserve.
First of all, we would like to understand the theme, co-creating
Yes.
the future automotive value chain.
Yes.
Who are we co-creating it with?
Yes.
The OEMs or the
Yes.
countries? It's beyond regions. What it is all about?
Yes. So I would say that I would give a lot of credit for this to the Honorable Commerce Minister because he envisaged the Bharat Mobility, and if you would recall, maybe 2 years ago, we used to have the Auto Expo that was just two buckets, the vehicles and the components. But as you know, the entire industry is transforming today, and in some sense, the vehicles are probably, depends upon how you wish to define them, as software-defined vehicles, or say a computer on wheels, or a mobile phone on a wheel, you know. So the entire industry is transforming to, let's say, moving towards carbon neutrality. EV is probably one of the solutions that's probably most talked about, but nevertheless, there's a huge transformation that's happening, and that is not just the sole domain of the vehicles and the component players. There are many players who would make it happen, whether it is electronics, whether it is software, whether it is firmware, whether it is telecommunication. A lot of the technology is coming from the startups, but also there are certain basic building blocks like the steel industry. So the Commerce Minister envisaged that the entire value chain, I forgot the tires, yeah, you know. He envisaged that the entire value chain should be represented under a brand umbrella. And therefore, today we have probably 9 shows and spread across 3 venues. And in terms of the footprint of square meters, we are probably the second or the third largest global show spread in 3 humongously large venues. You know, my legs are hurting in just one show. That's the idea of bringing everybody together. It's like a symphony, you know, every instrument playing its own, but at the same time creating music together, and this show is a crescendo. So there we are. Yeah.
Right. So, and I think it's a need of the hour also as we're
Yes.
moving forward, and tackling the opportunities and challenges at the same time.
Yes.
Would like to understand from you, who are the new partners that have joined in the component show? I think there are 5 country pavilions here.
Yes.
Give us brief on that
Yes.
and what they're
So the 5 country pavilions is just one from an international perspective, and they are only, in some sense, pavilion displaying, but there are 31 nations that are engaged in some form of the others. Some of them displaying 5. There are certain fewer players who have come from countries such as US or in Israel, Spain. They are sort of discrete 2, 3 companies here and there. And that apart, there's a huge footfall from international community. So very happy that in some sense, if it's really emerged as a very
Global
international global expo. And that's what you see inside the halls. The energy and the enthusiasm is so palpable. In fact, we had hall full by 10 in the morning on day 1 of the show, and so much so that the response was so enthusiastic that we inaugurated on day 0, right? So I think everything is getting fast forwarded. We've been challenging for us, but that's life, yeah. We're on a roller coaster.
So what are the key technologies that players are
yeah,
showcasing
I
here?
think we began talking about the transformation of the industry, and a key element that you see in transformation is electric mobility. And there's a clear message from the government, say when we hosted the G20 and we declared that 25% of our market vehicle industry would be by 2030, we would be electric. And I think everybody is gearing up to that opportunity. And if you look at the show today, whether it is motor, whether it is powertrain, a lot of ECUs which go either in conventional vehicle or in the EVs, or even hybrids, or even any other, because it's a control unit. So there is a lot of technology that you find today is newer that you didn't see 2 years ago. So what makes me very, very happy is that the show is helping us position the industry from a plain brick and mortar industry to a technology industry. And I guess that's the way forward, because competitiveness would be defined by technology and not by mere factors of production that we excel at. Yeah. So this show is all about technology. Yes.
It's all about technology.
All about technology. Yeah.
So ACMA has grown.
Yes.
As I remember, it was 850 members, and now
Yes.
you updated it's now 1,000 plus.
Yes.
And that's a big number.
Yes.
Who are these new members?
Yes.
And you have also launched ACMA Mobility Foundation
Yes.
for your non-members as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Give us insights on that.
Yes. So I think two things are happening. We discussed this before we begin this show, and two things. One, I think ACMA is a very dynamic organization. What's very interesting is that we have a whole lot of new leaders that are bringing in a whole new perspective and a lot of new energy. And that's helping the brand ACMA grow, not just grow, accelerate. And in fact, not just in India. I mean, some of our expos that we do internationally. Last year, we have had the best possible ever response. At the Apex show, we were the best possible. We were the best stall, right? 50 plus companies participated there. So what's happening is that brand ACMA is suddenly gaining a lot of traction, and that is attracting a whole lot of new people to engage with us. Some of our services, which are especially don't exist for any other associations, is where we go and make interventions on the shop floors. And we've today helped around 1,400 plants become world class.
Wow.
And that's again, as we popularize these, and I think social media is a great tool to, disseminate information. So ACMA is growing in stature. The ACMA services are gaining more traction. That's attracting newer members. That's creating more word of mouth, because this industry is a very close-knit community, So it's becoming like a positive reinforcement cycle. And in some sense, ACMA today is more than 1,000 members. The show today is exactly more than 1,000 members. 2 years ago, the show was 800 companies. ACMA membership was 800 companies. So it's a great tandem that we see. The growth is happening in tandem, each again feeding into the other.
And I think also it's the need of the art for members to join in, to become the world class, to become the part of the global value chain, and also to up their quality.
That's a very important aspect. Is that again, unlike most industry, this industry is hugely export driven. More than 30% of what we produce gets exported. And interestingly, we are a trade surplus. We were $300 million trade surplus in last year. This year, we are $150 million in trade surplus. And again, I would say that today's industry, if you were to compare for 5 years ago, it's a much more a confident industry. And I think the defining moment was the pandemic, because during the pandemic, we could put our heads together, heads down, and do a lot of work that's needed for transformation. And post the pandemic, the good thing was that the market came back extremely strong for us.
Right.
So it reinforced that what we were doing, we were on the right path. Okay, and that continues to motivate us.
Right.
I would give again a lot of credit to the Commerce Minister, who has supported us well and encourages us all the time. That is something really very reassuring for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So during COVID times, it was all
Yes.
about building resilient supply chain,
Yes, yes,
maintaining the
yeah.
quality, becoming the global.
Yes, yes, yes.
You have also done various programs for tier 2 and tier 3s
Yes,
and tier
yes,
1. So
yes.
how they are shaping up, and could you give us insight on how they are also leveling up and
Yes.
getting the work done?
So, as they say, the tier 2s are probably the weakest link in the whole value chain, and they need a lot of help and intervention. When you go around the exhibition, you would find the biggest stalls are largely the tier 1s, and you would see that their display is almost compared, you could stand anywhere in the world, or even the OEMs display, they're very similar, but we be smaller in size, okay?
That is because of the products are small.
Yeah, absolutely. The larger companies, they have, so I would say that they have come of age. The tier 2s are the ones that they still need a lot of hand holding, okay? And I think there a lot of the focus should be. We are trying to do things, but I guess the tier 1s will have to take a lot more responsibility in bringing them to the capacity that we want them to be. The work is on, and I'm sure sort of everybody knows today is the survival of the fittest. If you don't shape up, you're out. So the message is very, very clear from everybody that they need to shape up, they need to fall in the right place, and I guess I see no reason why they should not be. As I said, it's a very, very confident industry. There's a lot of young leaders, even in the tier 2s. So the energy is very palpable. I'm very confident about this industry. Yeah.
Right. So while the government has a lot of focus on the industry, be it infrastructure, be it announcing PLI schemes, etc., what would be one policy recommendation from you to the government which can help you to do better and become the global manufacturing hub of India?
I would say that the policies have largely been very benign for the entire auto sector. Typically, most people allege that we are the favorite of the government, and I don't think so. They're wrong in saying so. I don't think so. At least from an auto component perspective, we do not have any persuasive ask.
Right.
Okay, but yes, I think what is needed when I spoke to you about technology, right? We are still lagging in terms of technology. Not much of design and development is happening at the smaller companies levels. What's very interesting is that everybody talks about GCCs, and there are probably 1,700 or 1,800 GCCs in the country, of which 80 of them are dedicated to the automotive industry. Of them, probably 60% are dedicated to the auto component industry. I would like to see more and more the Indian-owned companies do much more work in R&D and D&D. Okay, and a lot of companies are gearing up for it. That's one area that requires some degree of encouragement from the government, because we do not have any scheme that is dedicated to creating newer products, because there's a lot of risk involved there. The other thing that is really needed is at the tooling stage. A lot of the tools, the dies and the molds that we do are largely imported. Okay, I think we need more tool centers in the country. We need more tooling that are indigenous, so that the design and development that we do can actually be made in the country.
So design in
and
India, make in India.
So the tooling industry, I would say, like, the component industry is the backbone for the automotive industry, but the tooling industry is a backbone for the entire manufacturing industry, and we need to reinforce both the backbones.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure.